what's there a need to go on weight loss medicine? You guys got to realize that it's about making money. Like, bottom line is, when companies start to fade, they have to find different ways to make money. So they're going to do whatever they can. And Weight Watchers is not even the only company, which is interesting. Welcome back to another episode of the Brave Today podcast. This show will encourage, challenge, and maybe even provoke you to step outside of your comfort zone and take more action to better improve yourself and your health. I'm your host, Mark Avens, and in this crazy upside-down world that just seems to be pushing this narrative for you to become softer, weaker, sicker, unhealthier, and more dependent than ever, the goal and intent of this show is to help you navigate through this so that you can become braver today than you were yesterday. Now, we have different types of shows. We have special guest interviews where I'll interview different people in my life that not only are brave, but are also helping other brave men and women like yourself become braver today than they were yesterday. Aside from interviews, we also have Brave Q&A where I'll be answering questions that I get asked. So if you have a question, you just need to drop it in the comments section. If you find me on YouTube or on podcast, you can shoot me a message. However you connect with me, whatever social platform, send me a message and say, hey, I need this question answered. And I'll be potentially picking some of those to answer on the show. The other thing is a flavor of the week. Flavor of the week is what we actually are doing today. Excited to share with you the flavor of the week. And that's where I'll be actually discussing something specific to health, fitness, latest news, picking apart diet trends, workout fads, etc. And I'll be breaking those down to give you my opinion, actually some research that I've done to help you navigate through that. And then we also have the breakthrough episodes where I'll be deep diving into some specific things physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, things that might be holding you back, and to help provide insight and some guidance so that you can have your own breakthrough in your personal health and fitness journey. With that said, I hope you enjoy the show. And lastly, if you do enjoy the show, all I ask is for you to share it with somebody else. You can share this podcast. Just click the link and share it. Tell somebody, a friend, you meet somebody at church, your neighbor, just shoot that over to me. I don't do any advertising on the show, so that would be greatly appreciated if you find it valuable. And if you don't, totally cool too. With that, let's jump right in. All right. So for today's flavor of the day, Oprah's weight loss company moves in on obesity drugs. That's what we're going to be talking about. Now, if you caught the last episode of the flavor of the day, that was our premiere episode. Go back and check that out. We did a deep dive into the all too familiar and very, very popular drug that's out there, obesity drug called Ozempic. So if you want, I would highly recommend you go back and check that out. We're going to be going a little bit in a different direction, which was interesting in my research as I was doing just some deep diving into the actual companies that are out there, and share that on the past show. Also, what's really kind of disturbing and a little bit mind-blowing is companies that are actually have been promoting diets and healthy weight loss options, one of them being the all too familiar Weight Watchers, or WW, which is one of Oprah's companies. She's a stakeholder in that company. And it's really interesting. We're going to talk about that today. I'd love to hear your comments, and I'd love to know what you think after we talk about that, which is really crazy. But let's just go. One of the things that happened, you guys know, way back, I believe it was maybe in like 2014 or 2012. I don't have the specific date on that in front of me, but I remember back it was where the Weight Watchers changed to WW, and that actually that moved into like this whole new direction on like wellness, and they wanted to get away from the weight being the biggest kind of focus, and was really interesting. And we're going to talk about that today. And I remember when they changed and went from Weight Watchers to WW, and actually then Oprah got her hands on it. The shares of the stock skyrocketed, but previous to that, they were plummeting. And I think the same thing that's actually been happening as well now with the company that's been plummeting due to all the rise in people that are just jumping off of Weight Watchers and jumping into weight loss medicine. So let's just kind of talk about this. One of the things, why does all of this exist anyway? Why are there big, giant, huge companies with like multi millions of dollars behind them, and even weight loss? And here's the reality. Obesity, just think about that. It rose 30.5%. We're not talking like 3%, 30.5% from 1999 to 2000. That was like in that just period from 1999 to 2000 period. And then it rose 41.9% in 2017 through March of 2020. And then, of course, with all the lockdown, you can see that being the case. And the CDC actually, and that's according to the CDC, the prevalence of obesity has actually surged during those periods from 4.5% to 5% up to about 9.2%, which is really crazy. So if you just think of the skyrocketing effects of obesity, you just have to look on the overall picture before we deep dive into this. Think about if these companies were really successful, any company, again, any of the dieting companies, any of the medical companies that are pushing out drugs, and they've been around for a long time. If that were actually the case that people were doing well, wouldn't you think it just common sense, doing some basic math, that actually the numbers would be going down? Instead of it being 41% from 30.5, it'd go maybe from 30.5 to 20.5 or something to that effect, right? In a decade. But that's not the case. And you know what's even crazier? The annual medical cost. This is like back now, this is research that was back done, and they don't have the latest, which I know is probably higher. The estimated annual medical cost of obesity in the United States in just 2019 was $173 billion. This is a multi-billion-dollar market. Keep that in mind as we get into this. Annual medical costs for adults who had obesity were over $1,800 higher than medical costs for people with healthy weight. So you see now, think about the costs. I'm just wondering where all those extra costs are going to. Just keep that in mind as we have this conversation. And again, now you look at the big picture, adding in prescription drugs that are out there. And what's really crazy is that these weight loss companies like WW or Weight Watchers, previously named Weight Watchers, are jumping on this, which kind of blows me away. Because if you've been on Weight Watchers anytime in the course of your life, and chances are if you're listening, you at least either know somebody or you've actually been on Weight Watchers yourself. You know that, again, aside from the point system, all those type of things, that a lot of it was teaching you about having a good relationship with food, right? And teaching you habits and, point system and accountability and, being able to track your progress and so forth. So, I always was skeptical of things. I never personally was on Weight Watchers, but I've helped thousands of women that actually have shared that they've tried things like Weight Watchers, if not was Weight Watchers themselves. And a lot of them have never just done it once. They did it like 6 or 7, 8, 10 times, even though family members that have done that as well. And, the bottom line is if it works, then you wouldn't need to go back on it, right? But it doesn't work. And again, I'm not here to go into the deep dive of that. I'm here to wonder why these companies now, these dieting companies, are actually getting in bed with weight loss medicine companies. So here, I'm just going to share with you some reports and some research that I've done. And again, here we're not to talk about the places I got them. I just looked up some different websites, different places, and actually found some articles I thought were interesting. So Rolling Stone reported, this is since Ozempic first went from the drug newcomer, which again, we talked about this in the last episode, semaglutide injectables as hailed as the advancement for pharmacological brands, wellness treatments, telehealth medicines, endocrinologist plans, bariatric therapy. So you can see now the weight loss industry wants in. Which is really crazy. In March of this past year, the popular weight loss program, Weight Watchers, Oprah's weight loss company acquired telehealth platform Sequence and announced members would be able to use the new subscription-based acquisition to get their hands on this weight loss medicine. Ozempic, Wegovy, I can't pronounce that, and the tablet options known as Rybelsus. The move seems to be at odds, and this is in the article, longstanding tenets of the program. Weight Watchers was first started, I don't know if you can go way back, maybe you go way back, but 1963, Weight Watchers started, and it was, believe it or not, started in strip malls across America. You guys remember the mall days, the strip mall days? You go hang out at the mall. I do back in the 80s. We had to drive like an hour and a half. I think Smith Haven Mall when I lived on Long Island. If you guys are anywhere on Long Island, you remember the Smith Haven Mall, that was like the place to go. And I wasn't paying attention as I was a kid, but it is pretty interesting that Weight Watchers actually started in strip malls across America. And one of the big things is that, and even Oprah herself, is that Weight Watchers and the supporters, they were basically bragging like it was the easier way to lose weight while avoiding the stigma and temptation of crash diets and weight loss pills. Interesting, right? So they're changing, you guys know, and then the article, Weight Watchers revolves around an ever-changing point system that ranks food based on its calories and sugar content, and then allows members to a certain amount of points each day based on their goals, right? If you've done it or been around people have done it, you know that basically what it attests to. It's pretty much their whole model. It's been that way for years, and they've evolved a little bit here and there. Their point system with accountability framework where members attend meetings and weigh-ins and discuss their journeys. And they even have some coaching method. Company says scientifically proven to change people's relationship with food. Okay, so if that was the case, let's just stop there. If that's the case and it worked, what's there a need to go on weight loss medicine? Well, again, you guys got to realize that these companies seriously are, in my opinion, and you kind of just look at behind the scenes, it's about making money. Like, bottom line is, when companies start to fade, they have to find different ways to make money. So they're going to do whatever they can. And Weight Watchers is not even the only company, which is interesting. And I'll share that in just a minute. A press released in March, Weight Watchers CEO Simas Sistani said that the move is in an effort to keep the weight loss platform advancing as rapidly as the science. Just trust the science, they say, right? It is our responsibility as a trusted leader in weight management to support these interested in exploring if medications are right for them. So they're basically going back on what they preached and teached, regardless of who was in charge of the company for years and years, right? Again, and that was even having the weight, which now these weight loss medicine, people are buying and gobbling up and like, giving away their firstborn to get their hands on this medicine. And it's for weight loss. And they even it's really crazy when you think about their branding has changed. And I can imagine if I was a Weight Watchers customer, maybe you are, and I'd love to hear what you think. If you've been on Weight Watchers, if you've actually maybe know people that have done it, what are your thoughts on thinking a Weight Watchers company going in and now offering medicine, weight loss medicine as an option for their customers? Again, just think about that. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So just drop those down in the comments. It'd be awesome. One of the things too here, Weight Watchers' strongest and most vocal supports online is the Weight Watchers influencers. So again, and even think about this now, if you're an influencer and you were promoting, Weight Watchers and promoting all the stuff and talked about body positivity and getting healthier and all this stuff, and then now here we go. It's pretty much when you're going that direction, you're going against like the medicine, the drugs. And like, that's a bit of a slap in the face, even for those of you who maybe been on it. So there's a lot of angry customers that have been on Weight Watchers. They're a bit frustrated or confused. Why all of a sudden? Well, again, don't be confused and don't be frustrated. It's simple. It's about money. Here's another report, I didn't know this either. Actually, as I was doing a little deep dive, I didn't realize, you probably have heard, I think it was maybe 4 years ago, 3 years ago, years ago, because I was a coach online. Noom, which is one of my, I say nemesis, when I hear, oh no, I'm just doing Noom. Well, Noom joined Weight Watchers and offering medications like Wegovy for weight loss. Here's the thing. They have this new service called Noom Med. Maybe Weight Watchers has something similar. In fact, I went to the Weight Watchers website, and lo and behold, they have all kinds of articles that they're writing now on weight loss medicine, which is really just, it's a bit disturbing. I should say, as a maybe Weight Watchers consumer, or even somebody that's in Noom, because again, you remember with Noom, a big thing, you can go on there and learn. And I hear, oh no, they're having better relationship with food, and there's coaching. And now what are they doing? They're actually trying to get their hands on this medication. You got to think, remember I told you, it's a $200 billion industry. So just think of that for a minute. And again, ways to make more money. It's not necessarily if you get better or healthier or lose weight and have it permanent and change your life around, right? It's about actually keeping you as a customer. And it's really sad. And here's just some stuff. There was an article, this was in ABC News, the new service Noom Med, and carries a monthly fee. So as the popularity of the drugs like Wegovy and Ozempic are used for weight loss continues to rise, another weight loss focused company is jumping into the market. Noom, an app, those of you that are not familiar, an app that helps people track their eating and exercise habits, will now offer prescriptions through a new telehealth platform known as NoomMed. The company said NoomMed will be available to people who meet certain requirements such as BMI of 30 or higher and who are members of Noom Weight. It's $42 a month program that offers psychological tips to help with weight loss. Again, notice this, the focus is just the weight loss, the weight loss, the weight loss, the weight loss. And you wonder why, if you're somebody that struggles with your weight, if you're worried about your weight, if you've been on diets that focused on weight only, it's all you're looking at is how much to scale. You've been basically conditioned to only focus on your weight. And that's the way they sell this, right? The cost of Noom, like I mentioned, is $49 a month, which includes interactive patient education, psychologically aware curriculum, whatever that is, and a suite of comprehensive nutrition and exercise tools, according to the company. Users who qualify can be prescribed weight loss medications after undergoing comprehensive lab work and health evaluations by a board-certified physician. So here's the interesting thing, and what I see happening is they're basically trying to bypass you having to go to a physician. I say aside from this board certified physician or physician supervised nurse, right? So again, because they have the name doctor behind it, again, they're trying to basically, so you don't have to go to an obesity doctor, maybe your general care doctor, and avoid going to a hospital and having to have a checkup. You could do this all probably online, right? It's really kind of crazy when you think about that. For a minute. So they're basically trying to remove the middleman, so to speak, right? So in March, Weight Watchers announced it had acquired Sequence, subscription-based telehealth platform that provides telemedicine as well. So you think now Noom's doing this, and actually Weight Watchers is doing this as well. And again, same drugs as well. Good Morning America, one of the nutritionists through the company's profit-driven Maya Feller, it said, if people want to lose weight and they center that as the thing that's valuable, we're going to see more companies jump on the bandwagon and start to use these GLP-1s, which is basically the verbiage for the medical verbiage for Ozempic and Wegovy. That's the class of the drugs that it is. And the class of drugs, which I mentioned in the last episode, helps these class of drugs help people produce insulin and lower the amount of sugar in the blood. And drugs slow down movement of the food through the stomach, curbing appetite and leading to weight loss. So if you think about it, and that's how they found out about it. Again, you got to go back and listen to the past flavor of the day episode where I talked in more specific about what that does. And I gave you some thoughts and gave you some thing, if you're really considering, or maybe you've been on it and you're wondering why it maybe didn't work, that was a great episode. And no different here. Both drugs are made from compounds called semaglutide, which works to helping pancreas release insulin to move sugar from the blood into the body tissues. So just kind of thinking in that, and these companies, these diet companies, or these big corporate weight loss companies, are now getting on the bandwagon of these weight loss drugs. It's why they're actually, if you have diabetes and you're trying to be on this drug, this medication for your diabetes, and you're realizing, man, it's hard to get now. Well, guess why? Because now all these bigger companies are going to be promoting it, marketing it, and they have lots and lots of customers. Noom and the giants, those big giants like Weight Watchers, Noom, and there's a lot of others out there. They're coming after. They're coming after you. Just be aware. Here's a New York Post article in July. Injection objection. Check this out. This was back just recently in July. Weight Watchers participants are crying foul over a decision by the Die Hard diet organization, which helped Oprah Winfrey shed 40 pounds. If you guys have seen, and again, now if you kind of look at like what they are classifying as like the health and like healthy models, and look at the ones that are in charge, that are like the health experts and stuff, just, that alone is, you got to be a better advocate for yourself and not look at these celebrities. But again, helped Oprah Winfrey shed 40 pounds. And, she started to offer the Ozempic to members as a subscription based. This is the decision to legitimize a trendy quick fix semaglutide injectable follows the D-Chubb Club's steep decline in market value and subscriber count in recent years. And actually, like I said, it comes back to the money. They went down. Subscriber count in recent years went down from 3.9 million, from 5 million to 3.9 million in the first. This was back in 2021. And I would imagine now, because their shares are going back up, it's because they're getting on this weight loss drug bandwagon. Weight Watchers is well known for the use of the point system, which we talked about. Also is long advertised as sustainable alternative to crash diets and fads like detox teas. Winfrey is a partner and a board member of WW International, the brand's parent company. The move comes amid an organizational pivot. Online service Weight Watchers said in March that it will be acquiring, like I mentioned before, telehealth platform Sequence, which will give calorie count access to subscription-based weight loss drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy. And so again, if they're not already there, I don't have all the specifics on all, like if they all have all of that now, but I know they're there, because if you go to their website, you see that they're starting to really talk about that a lot, which makes you think, like, were they really just selling you on a lot of BS before? And were they really just trying to keep you as customers? And the short answer is absolutely yes. Here's something from Fast Company 8 2018. It's not about weight anymore. President and CEO of WW International told Fast Company last year, Mindy Grossman, the president and CEO of WW. Today's generation this is back in 2018, and I believe there is a different CEO now. They keep changing CEOs. Today's generation is more preventative. This is back, think now, 2018, pre-COVID, preventative. They want to live healthy, and they want to educate themselves. WW, Weight Watchers boast an updated tagline, wellness that works. Wellness that works. In addition, the brand revealed wellness wins. And so they got the Weight Watcher, the weight part away. And isn't it ironic that now they're actually in bed with weight loss medication? Think about that for a minute. So they're like bouncing back and forth. I mean, and I can imagine if you were a customer of theirs, or even Noom, or anybody like that, and you're going to see they're going to be across the boards coming out, and everybody's going to jump on it, except for legit coaches that are trying to truly help you and teach you the right habits. Essentially, it's what we do. There's a number of coaches out there. You got to find good ones and quality ones, and ones that have a track record of success, like I have been doing this, having done this for almost 3 decades now. And I've realized I've been around long enough. I've seen all these things come and go. I've been around with Weight Watchers, Noom, and all of the companies, Optavia's, the ketos, the Nutrisystems, the cookie diets, all the crazy HCGs, all those things, right? All those things. And if they all really worked, if there was one even silver bullet, do you think we'd be at the epidemic size proportion that we are with obesity in our country right now? No, right? The bottom line is we'd be a much healthier, stronger, fitter, right? Like, and if we had less people depressed than ever, like if we were healthier and fit, and there'd be less medication. But you know what? The companies won't make money that way. And unfortunately, you end up paying, and then you end up losing as well. I want you to win. Do you want to win? I'd love to know. Like, let me know if you want to win. And if this is actually maybe an eye-opener, if you're even considering the weight loss medicine that your doctor may be telling you to get on, or maybe they're trying to prescribe it before these weight loss companies actually get on the bandwagon and really have full access to your attention. And you're doing Weight Watchers and you're on Wegovy and you're wondering, well, Weight Watchers is the best. No, you're taking weight loss medicine. And again, none of that stuff are solutions. So again, if your sole intent is just to lose 50 pounds and you don't want to change your life and your health, and you're just looking for a quick fix, go after it. Fine. But just don't say didn't warn you. Again, maybe you've already done all that stuff before and you're just tired and exhausted of doing it. And you're just sick of having to look at the scale. But maybe you need a different approach. So here's what's really interesting. Back when Weight Watchers talked about this in 2018, they're becoming the world's partner in wellness. No matter what your goal is, to lose weight, eat healthier, move more, develop a positive mindset, or all the above, we deliver science-based solutions that fit into people's lives. This is just the beginning of our journey to become the world's partner in wellness, and I'm inspired by the potential for our impact, right? So partners in wellness. Do you really think a weight loss medicine is wellness? I'd be curious, like, what is wellness to you? I think wellness has been really misconstrued, really just completely watered down, because now wellness, if you actually are eating healthy and exercising and working out hard and pushing yourselves and having good discipline, that's like, oh, you're dieting. You're like, why are you doing that? That's crazy that you're doing those things. I hear it all the time. People that think we're crazy for doing some of the hard things that we do and workouts and 75 hards and all those types of things. But what's really kind of crazy is these companies that have been around for, 6 decades, and the reality is people just still haven't woken up to actually believing that these companies are not out for your best interest. I'm here to tell you that these companies are not out for your best interest. These companies are out to actually continue to keep you as customers. Like, the bottom line is, if Weight Watchers was so amazing and back in the 30s, now mind you, there's more people in this world, and obviously people are born and people have weight problems. But like, if they were such a great company, then do you think that, or any of these companies, or even any of these medications, or anything in general that's, promoting weight loss, do you think that we're doing better as a society, like even in our country here, do we think we're doing better as a whole or not? I think we're getting heavier, we're getting sicker, and we're getting weaker. And those are the things that I'd like to help prevent you from really going down that road. If you're already there, to maybe even going on a new road. And I don't know what that looks like for you, but just being informed, being actually a good advocate, you need to become a better consumer of your health, not a better consumer of diets. So don't, just because you see some celebrity is promoting, if you put that much trust in, again, look at how much trust we have in like media these days, and even in celebrities, right? You hear some of the celebrities that are out there, and what they said 2 years ago is not what they're saying today. Even the news, hey, what they're saying 2 hours ago is not what they're saying today, right? Or 2 hours after. So you just need to be a better consumer, and that's becoming a better advocate. So being aware of these companies, they're coming after you, and they want one thing. They don't want you to get healthy. They don't want you to lose weight. They want you to actually open up your pocketbooks and spend all your money with them. It's really crazy, right? Like, just think about that for a minute. And listen, in this episode, my goal is, like, I want to help you become better today than you were yesterday, becoming braver today than you were yesterday. Part of that is just actually being awake to the fact that people are trying to take your money. People are trying to really, in your emotions, they're going to feed off your emotions. You go on TV and you're watching a show, and on the weekend, and you wonder why these companies are advertising. And that's what's even crazier, at least here in the United States. Like, you can advertise these companies for weight loss and medicine and drugs and all that stuff. And that's like, we're one of the only countries on the planet that actually you're allowed to actually market and advertise drugs, which just blows me away. So there's lots of money behind this, hundreds of billions of dollars. And I might be only one advocate to do it a different way, and my hopes are from this show, and that if you're listening and you like this, is that you might have just gotten one thing, be like, I need to look into this a little bit more. Here's what's crazy. Like, just think about this. So now, Oprah Winfrey, I say, she doesn't own the whole company. She owns 10%. 10% of the Weight Watchers company is about what her stake in it is 10%. At least maybe it's different now. Maybe she invested more, but this is back in like 2015 when she bought 10% stake in Weight Watchers. It was $43 million. So again, and do you think she's doing that because she wants to lose money, or do you think because she's actually making an investment because she's expecting this company to make more money? Well, one of the things we realize in a big company like that is, if you see the number of subscribers have dropped from, say, 5 million to 3.9 million subscribers, and there people are going to other things. Well, what are they doing? They're doing weight loss medicine. So it only makes sense. Let's just jump in bed with the weight loss medicine company so we don't lose those customers. Right. Again, and I'm here to tell you, even if she's told you that, I love bread, right? Remember that whole body positivity thing, which got first started, and she was on the Weight Watchers kick. Like, you can have your bread and you can still be healthy, and you don't have to restrict your life so much. You don't have to avoid all sugar. You don't have to stop eating after 7. There's ways to do this. Again, you just been kind of tunnel vision and to what was in front of your face, and you see things that are heavily marketed, and it's going to be the things like, oh, well, I guess if it's good for her, I got to trust the celebrity. I got to trust the news. I got to trust. And you got to realize too, that a lot of these articles and research that's being done is being done by the weight loss company. In fact, I shared that in the last show, when they do research and say most people put on the weight after they go off of this medicine. So even here, I'll just reiterate what I shared. The companies did research. Now, the Ozempics did research on, or there was research done on what happens after you go off of the medicine. That's why their doctor's telling you you're not going to ever go off of it. They said the majority of people, over 90% of people, put the weight back on. Right. So you do all this medicine, you lose all the weight, you get off the medicine, or you want to get off the medicine because you're a good advocate of your health and realize medicine is not good to be on if I don't need to be on it. So you get off the medicine, you put it on. The research that was done that proved this was actually funded by the companies that sell the medication, by the drugs, the weight loss drugs. Why do you think that they're doing research and having research studies, and they're doing studies, and they're published studies that are showing that people put the weight back on after they get off of the medicine? It makes sense, doesn't it? If you just kind of break this down, because if you get off the medicine, they don't make money. So they're basically saying you're going to need to be on this medicine. And that's honestly across the boards in a lot of medications. That's why I'm not a big proponent of big pharma. And if you are, then again, have at it, go on all the drugs you want, get on blood pressure medicine, be on the weight loss drugs, be on the cholesterol drugs, be on the antidepressants, do all those things. Or not. It's really your choice, ultimately. And if you love bread like I do, I like a good bagel and a good slice of pizza. I'm not going to give that up. I'm just going to actually learn how to do this without actually popping a pill or doing some injection, right? Or starving myself and thinking or feeling guilty about foods that I enjoy. But also at the same time, not being a complete asshole about it by eating whatever I want, whenever I want, not exercising and thinking that my body isn't going to revolt. So keeping that in mind, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And I think we're going to end today's flavor of the day. What are your thoughts on this? I'd love to hear what you have to say about Weight Watchers going to selling weight loss medicine, weight loss drugs, and things like Noom and companies like that. I'd love to know your experience on these, good, bad, or indifferent. If you feel up to it and you're open and could share, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Maybe you've been on Weight Watchers for years and you're still struggling. Maybe this was a good eye opener. Maybe you've tried Noom, maybe you've tried other diets and realized the bottom line and overall deal with this is that you have to realize that you have to take 100% ownership. I say ownership of your health. You can't let a pill or a potion or a diet take ownership, or a coach or a trainer. You have to take 100% ownership of your health and well-being. Nobody else is going to do. In fact, it's probably one of the hardest things to realize if you're struggling with weight and you're struggling with your health. And it's one of the things to easily become afraid of, and why maybe you're not brave enough to take a different step in a new direction. And my hopes is that today's episode, sharing this with you, helps you take maybe one more step to becoming braver today than you were yesterday. It's really what it's all about. I appreciate you. This is all I have for today. Really, thank you so much for taking the time to watch the show. I'd love to hear your comments. Please share. Let's interact. I'd love, and if you have a question on there, may feature it in one of our live Q&As. And really, lastly, if you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, you can always subscribe if you want, so you don't miss out on any episodes. And then, of course, share the show with your friends. And then also, to stay up to date on the Brave Today show and get behind the scenes content, you can always follow me. I'm on Facebook, and then you'll see this episode that will be on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you're a new subscriber there, thank you so much. And then also you can find me on Instagram. So other than that, you guys have an amazing, blessed one. And I hope this episode helped you become braver today than you were yesterday. Take care and God bless.